Yeah, mate, like you said, it's been a super long season. Coming on, back-to-back seasons. There hasn't been an off season for a good couple of years, so it's been a very tough season, and I think a lot of players at the moment are kind of feeling the effects of that. But for myself personally, it's been a pretty crazy 12 months for me. Obviously, ticking off a lot of goals for myself, reaching world number one, British Open title. It's been a hell of a season, and it's been something that it's probably one of the best seasons, is by far the best season of my life. But it's also been quite a emotionally draining season as well. A lot of pressure coming in, and a lot of new pressures that I have experienced this season. So it's been a really good learning season for myself as well. I've learned a lot about myself and a lot about how to handle those sort of pressures, and I've loved every minute of it, even though it's been extremely hard and tiring. It's been great. The sort of first month I was just on cloud nine. Obviously, I felt like a weight dropped off my shoulders. Everything I worked for came true, and it was one of the best feelings I've ever had. Better than winning any tournament. It really was the most special moment of my career to date, and I was enjoying that moment a lot. And it was actually sort of the last month actually when I lost the world number one, and then trying to get back to world number one. Obviously, that's when I actually started feeling probably more pressure, and obviously being world number one at world champs was a lot of pressure. So at the start I was just loving it, man. I was just really enjoying it, but then it sort of soon turned to a lot of pressure, and that was quite tough. I'm not going to lie. I stopped feeling myself on court, and this week I've just tried to go back to just enjoying my squash and enjoying the game, because yeah, I wouldn't say I wasn't enjoying it, but I definitely was feeling a lot of pressure. And I think that was when I sort of lost the world number one, and then all of a sudden I was trying to get that back, and it was a different pressure than. It all happened in 3 months. It was just a lot going on for me. So, like I said, it's a lot. I learned a lot from that experience, and I think I'll be a better person and a better player for that. I mean, I believe I can win every tournament, no matter what my ranking is. But I think when you're number one, there's no good time to lose. No matter where you lose in the tournament, whether it's first round or final. I think when you're number one, everyone is just expecting you to win, and like I said, even if you lose in the final, people are not happy, or people say you're playing bad or what's going on, and it's like there is just a lot of expectation around being number one and going into every tournament, and it's tiring. But again, it's something that I learned from over the past sort of 4 or 5 months, to try and deal with that a bit better, and just sort of put those expectations aside and go back to enjoying the process and enjoying every tournament. I probably have been sick this season more than I've ever been in any other season, and I think that's just my body being run down, whether that's the back-to-back seasons or what. But yeah, it's just like I said, it's something that I spoke to a lot of people about, trying to work out what's the best way to manage my career and my season in this new sort of era that it's in at the moment. So again, like, I learned a lot from this sort of past 5 months about myself and about how to handle the pressures. I'll do anything I can to be at the top again, but hopefully I've learned from when I was there for those 3 months, and when I get back there, hopefully it's it'll be a bit more familiar for me, and it's not something so new. And but I'm very proud of my journey this season, and what I did when I was number one. And I had a lot of times where I had to defend that number one, and I played some really good stuff when I was there. So I was very happy with how I dealt the situation. And like I said, it's just it's always a learning curve. But I was very proud of how I handled the situations. A lot of times I was under the pump, and I think I responded well. I always obviously respected those guys, immensely, and I've spoken to Greg Goltier quite a lot about it. He's been very helpful, and just experiencing the pressure and what they dealt with for a short period of time. And obviously, you can talk about how you know how much they're under pressure, but until you actually experience it, I think you can't really relate. And those guys that hold it for so long, it's just it just makes it even more impressive what they did. And hopefully I can do that at some stage in my career, like they did. But Yeah, man, immense amount of respect and just, just sort of understanding of what it takes and what sort of pressures are around it. Being number one's the greatest thing ever. So you're on a constant high. But like I said, like there's literally no good time to lose. Okay, if you're number 3 and you lose in the semis, that's okay, that's expected. If you're number 1 and you lose in the semis, no one's gonna, it's a disaster. If you lose in the final, it's not good, So there's never a good time to lose, and I think just having that little bit extra, as the publicity, the public pressure, the public expectation that's put on you to win absolutely everything all season long, and no matter if you're coming off a tournament and straight into another tournament, the public perception is still that you have to win, and if you don't win, it's a failure, But obviously you're going from tournament to tournament, you're making every final. I think it's very tiring, and you sort of understand why some, I sort of relate to some pros that would win and then lose the next tournament. I could never really understand why that happens. Just in my head, I was like, I did it when I was looking up to the world number ones. I was like, why are they losing? But it's tough. It's tough, and it's very hard, and something I sort of started to prioritize tournaments I really wanted to win, and really put a lot of mental energy and training and emphasis on winning those tournaments. And you can't win every tournament in a season. Well, Jahinga Khan could, but and if you do, that's great. But I really started focusing on winning tournaments that I wanted to win, and really targeting those tournaments throughout the year. The first time was obviously a different feeling. Second time, I had a lot of pressure on me, defending champion. The world number 1 was up for grabs, and that's probably one of the proudest tournaments I've had to go through. That tournament, defending my number 1 and playing the way I played, some of my best squash I played. And like I said, that's something I'm extremely proud of. And that tournament in particular, is really one of the highlights of my career and my career performance. Obviously got, Commonwealth Games in the off season, which has been a target for mine for, especially this year and the years leading up to it. But, also this year, at the start of this year, I targeted, probably 3 tournaments, and that's definitely one. So I really want to finish that tournament off well, and, competing for New Zealand always gives me a buzz, and I love the Commonwealth Games, and that's something I'm really, really looking forward to and targeting, and it's very important for myself and New Zealand as a country. So that's my next main goal. Every tournament, I'm trying to win to get back to world number 1, but I'm not trying to emphasize that so much, because I think that just sort of creates a lot of unnecessary pressure. Obviously, world champs is a huge target for me. That's one I haven't won yet, and I'd also love, the US Open. Obviously, British Open I've won, but it's one of the most prestigious. But I'm sort of targeting the ones, world champs, US Open. I think would be very cool and very special for me to win. And that's obviously New Zealand Open too. We got our first New Zealand Open in November, and I'll be absolutely frothing and up for that one. And just looking forward to playing at home in front of some Kiwi fans, and hopefully the roof's erupting there.